Good afternoon, Garrett. Go 106.1, the Tri-State's home for all the rock that's fit to spin. Instant dedications continue all night long, so let's go with another one right now. This one goes out to Mitch. Dad has something we will need. Make the time to get it. Mitch, that instant dedication comes to you from Mitch. Well, that can't be right. And you see that on the coffee table and extending down into the floor, 20 pages of loose leaf and legal pad and menus is a map. Just as Rob's head turns, you see several of the trailers, or the shadowy silhouettes of trailers behind him, lift up and stand. And you see a massive silhouette outlined in this kaleidoscopic night, and you see red eyes illuminate maybe 35 feet in the air.
Psst. Run.
As you turn around, you bear witness to a reconstituted Devastator as it lifts its leg up and brings a cement mixer down toward you. And as you launch backwards, this mix master smashes down in front of you. As you're lying on your back and you're looking straight up into the night sky, you see the stars. And one of them gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And you see a red truck fly from the sky. And as it gets closer, you hear as Optimus Prime smashes into Devastator, and the two of them crash off into the field to your left. Shannon, you're the first to reach the bottom, and you can see that a catwalk extends along a large open space. And within about 30 seconds, you see arrayed before you 3 pits with what look to be bars on the top of them. So there's no rise to them. These are almost like capture pits that you would see in times of war, where they would put somebody below the earth. You see fingers lance up from each of them.
She'll just go to the closest one first and look down.
Your father's eyes look back at you.
I don't know if this is going to work twice. Hold on. And Mitch stands over the top of this grate and grabs Mr. Locke's hands and just leans back, and he's going to try to pull him, dive him through the bars.
Nothing happens, but as you do this, you see a disc open in the wall. It gets wider and wider, and for a moment it looks like it's made of the same material, the same liquid in the river that is rushing just off to your right. It bounces as if the surface itself is bubbling like a cauldron, and then it opens and you see a star field behind it. Rob, as you move forward, the pain in your hands is intense, but you hear from the pit to your left, "Oh, honey, are you hurt?" And Miss Maggie looks up at you.
How did you get in there?
Doesn't matter. You can see tears rolling down her cheeks. She reaches up and you see her hands make it about wrist height through the bars. Let me borrow a hug.
Only if you give it back, please. I gotta get you out of here. And he's gonna reach down and give her a hug.
You feel her pull as close as she can, and she whispers into your ear, Rob, "I love you, no matter what the world's, including this one. No matter what they say, Maggie Arkaville will always be your mother in spirit and soul." And when you pull back, her hand dips into the darkness, and you hear the clink as she lifts a bag, and she lifts it up to you, and you can see the stalks of crystals sticking out of the top. George's dad was right, but he wasn't right about this. The crystals keep you from forgetting. And she pushes them toward you. You see a beaten and broken, his breathing incredibly ragged, Main Street Jimmy. And he looks at you. "The age is coming to an end, my friend. Twilight is falling, but a little light still remains. I wish I could go with you." But you see him slink down to the floor. "And I'm tired. So tired. We'll meet again, and again, and again." And you see his chest stop rising. Sean Locke looks at his daughter. Shannon, you need to stop the problems on each of these Earths, the ones that we caused. If the harmony is returned, the cycle will stop. Everything goes back where it came from and everything will be safe. But be careful. Not everyone stays the same between the Earths. Those that love will hate. Those that hate will love. Even me. But here, you have to.
No, I'm not leaving you here. I promised.
You have to save us all. Fix what I fucked up.
Can't leave. What about everybody else? And what are they gonna do to you? Next time, No, I can't.
If you succeed, they'll never be able to touch me again.
Mr. Locke, I don't know what we have to do, but I have one question.
Yeah.
Why was my dad upset when you dove and he saw my mom?
Oh, son. That's not your dad.
What does that mean? We saved him.
Not yet. He was gone too long.
What did we bring back?
He who walks between the rows.
Arise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here for Season 3, Episode 1 of Atari Twilight. This one's called Roll Out, and this is the final season of this amazing show. Top of the order here. First, I want to thank the amazing Melissa, who made that super awesome intro for us, who casually said, hey, I was fucking around in After Effects and I made this, who taught herself After Effects to make that. So super awesome. That's very amazing. All the artwork is done by her as well. This background here is done by her as well. All the character art that was in the opening trailer was also done by her. Super amazing. That being said, if you guys like what we do here and you want to support the channel, the best way to do that is over on our Patreon, link down below. While you're down there, click on that Discord link, join us in the Discord, be a part of the community, be a part of the conversation. And as always, in the bottom right-hand corner, you will see the corruption bar. That bar serves two purposes. One is when that bar fills, Greg gets to torture us like he's been doing for years. And two, every single dollar that goes into that bar goes back to these wonderful, amazing faces that you see here before you. And with that, I turn things over to Greg. A man in shades.
I am extremely happy to be back here. And before we do anything, as is, there's been a gap, a bit of time for the players, but not so much the characters. Let's keep it real brief. Let's go around. Let's talk to each person. Give us your name and your character's name and what they are. Hick, weirdo, whatever playbook or character class they are for Tales from the Loop. Let's start with Bitters. Bitters?
I'm Mr. Bitters. I hate everything. I played Jerry Baker, and he's just basically a meat popsicle.
That's about sums it up. Let's jump down to Frags. Frags, same questions.
I'm Frags. Some people call me Kindle. You can call me that if you want. I'm playing Robert Ott, and he is a weirdo.
Good. Meta, same questions.
Awesome. Hey guys, I'm Metamancer. Also Shannon Locke on this lovely show, and she is a troublemaker, which probably comes as no surprise if you watched any of the other seasons.
Right. Rhino, same bevy of questions.
So I'm Rhino. I'm playing George Butts. I'm also a troublemaker, former popular kid, but we don't talk about that.
Exactly. And last but certainly not least, our host, Mike.
What's up? I'm Mike. You guys know me. I'm playing Mitch. Mitch was a hick, and now, I don't know, he's a conspiracy theorist, I guess. Yeah, that's it.
Well, very good, everybody. And I am Greg, Grimjack21502. I will be playing the 80s in our campaign. In addition to that, my primary NPC, Ben McKenzie, is a member of the 5 that you see arrayed around you. But with that, I thought that we would jump right in to this season 3, the final season of Atari Twilight rollout. Now, for those of you just joining us on Twitch or YouTube, and as a refresher to all, myself included, here's a little bit about our game. Atari Twilight is a story about the 80s played using Free League's Tales from the Loop system. Tales from the Loop calls it setting the 80s that never was because of the fantastical elements added to our history. However, here at Atari Twilight, we call it an 80s, one of a limitless number of possibilities. For instance, right now there could be an 80s that exists where the Ghostbusters are actually busting ghosts in New York City. Another one where Turbo, Kelly, and Ozone are breakdancing in Venice. Yet another where Ren is petitioning the city council to allow dance inside the town limits. Even an 80s where the Transformers are real. So many different variations of the decade of decadence. But between all of those different 80s spread out like rows in a garden, between all of those 80s, some things never change. The music is the same. The movies, books, and TV, pop culture, all the same. Everything that you remember or heard about happened. So what's different in our story? Imagine that the great minds of the past turned their considerable power to advancements of peace and not war. Instead of simply having the ability to destroy the planet with nuclear weapons, which they still do, we also had the ability to make it better. Robotics, advanced methods of travel. As our story shows us, it might not be a truly better world, but it certainly is a different one. As for our sandbox, Garrett, Maryland is at the heart of it all. There, 5 kids seek to save not just the 80s, but all of the 80s that ever were, including ours. In their way stands a cadre of forces so fantastic that only the greatest decade could house them. Characters from television, movies, and novels walk the streets of Garrett. Names like Optimus Prime, the heroic Transformer, and Falcor, the Luck Dragon, mingle with the mundane in this small mountain town. Garrett is the nexus. It is where the fate of everything will be decided, for it holds the loop, a great mysterious research facility, a miraculous particle accelerator that powers not only scientific progress, but the imagination. And this vast and terrible loop will be the Armageddon of all existence. In this, the last year of the greatest decade, here in 1989, all will be decided for good or ill, the end of the age. And this tale is upon us. 4 years, over 125 songs, ultimately 40 episodes in the making comes down to this. We return to an 80s here in Garrett in the Highlands of Maryland. The stakes, everything. Our heroes, children grown far too old for their years. Your GM, me. I will be the 80s in our story. But to know our tale, you must know the kids that tell it. But where are our kids? Where are our heroes? And with that, my friends, please go to our Spotify playlist where you can find the soundtrack to this episode, the first song of the evening, Holding On for a Hero by one Bonnie Tyler. When last we saw our intrepid band after the confrontation with the foes that separated them from their loved ones, they had stepped through a neon-wired portal, saw versions of themselves cheering them on, and walked hand in hand into the brilliant light before them. But that was then. Where are we now? The only way to go forward is to go back one last time to our shared story, our 80s. Back one last time for the love and memories. Back one last time to stand with our fantastic heroes. George Butts, Jerry Baker, Shannon Locke, Ben McKenzie, Rob Ott, and Casey Mitchell. Welcome one and all to the end of an age. Welcome, my friends, to Atari Twilight Rollout. My players, before you, rows of starlights, a never-ending field, twist and flip in your vision. Your stomachs lurch and roll as your perception is squeezed and turned. For those of you that are fans of roller coasters or poorly constructed carnival rides, you are on one right now. Through the rows you fall. One by one, you tumble past. George Butts, once a proud, cool kid, incapable of empathy and focused more on the betterment of himself than others, now has, like the Terminator Skynet, become self-aware. He has learned his father is possessed of a malevolent force that claims to be the evil Transformer Megatron, and he has learned that he himself is a kid out of phase. He and his mother were brought to this 80s from one of the others to replace their versions that died here. He is a child of two worlds, unsure whether he belongs in either. George has grown strong physically, but it will be the war waged within that will either save him or damn us all. Rhino, George is spinning in this place between. Please roll George's best skill. Tell us what that skill is. Add your iconic item bonus and let us know what that item is as well.
Okay. I'll be rolling Contact Heart if it has to be my best one.
Please.
Alrighty. So I'll do that. Oh. So 0 successes. My iconic item is a pack of red apple cigarettes. So I just imagine whatever's happening, I'm just sparking one up as we tumble through the quantum here.
Okay. And as you flip through the quantum realm, you fumble for your cigarettes. As you reach and try to find your red apples, they elude you as you twist and tumble through this eternal night. Jerry Baker, a former bully humored by the other kids for the protection he provided, Jerry has evolved. A home life sundered by an abusive father, a father that seems fated to follow the evil that infests Garrett. Jerry is seen as an instrument by the enemy, someone that will surely join them to better himself. But they have not truly seen Jerry. They have not seen his hero's journey. The first of the kids to explore the powers bestowed upon them, Jerry wields his electric might for good. He is the reborn samurai, the fist holding a roll of pennies. He is the lone rock that their enemies will smash themselves to pieces against. Bitters, Jerry is spinning in this place between. Please roll Jerry's best skill. Tell us what it is. Add your iconic item bonus and let us know what that is as well.
Well, I've got to go with force. Jerry always has been a force despite everything. And his iconic item is his fake ID. It's technically real ID. It's just his older brother's ID.
And with one success, you tumble past our vision. Shannon Locke, brilliant but beholden to the pressures of her peers, Shannon plays the role of malcontent, rebel, punk. In other worlds, in other 80s, she served the will of evil. In other 80s, she commanded the forces of darkness, but not here, not in this 80s. In this place, Shannon grew confident and bold, smart and strong, mentored by a father that walked the walk and talked the talk. None of the kids front the shadow as deftly as Shannon, but of all of them, she is the least likely to fall prey to its siren song. Imbued with a power outside of the others, its source unknown, Shannon travels unseen among the enemy, but they know she exists. For the enemy understands what they face in Shannon Locke, and with that understanding, they know fear. Meta, Shannon is spinning in this the place between. Please roll her best skill. Tell us what it is. Add your iconic item bonus and let us know what that is.
Do I add two? Do I roll the iconic item? Sorry.
You can just add two. Add two to your roll that you put in.
Okay. I can't go over two. My best is sneak. I can't add two to it, so I'll just roll it with the iconic.
Sure.
One success. And my iconic item is leather vest, which she never takes off, which I wouldn't have taken off, but I have everything packed away.
So with, fiercely clad in a leather vest, Shannon tumbles past us in the space between. Ben McKenzie, the beating heart of the group, he champions them all, would die for each of them, and considers his family found worth every drop of his blood and the very breath in his chest. He stands fearlessly beside his more powerful friends. He charges into the fray without hesitation, but with bravery comes a warning for both Ben and the group. What happens to a body if the heart dies? Rob Ott, forgotten son of a seemingly disinterested family, Rob lived a life of desperate isolation. His parents, shells without substance, ignored everything he ever said or did. Food and shelter were provided, but love and affection were withheld from him his whole life. But Rob would not allow himself to be lost to hopelessness or fall prey to the evils that neglect fosters. Instead, he became a sympathetic friend, a compassionate leader, a hero. In the mold of his idol Optimus Prime, Rob Ott has grown beyond the sparse nutrients of his upbringing. Now he stands exactly in the place he needs to be, at exactly the time he needs to be there. All that remains is to see destiny fulfilled. Frags, Rob is spinning in this, the place between. Please roll Rob's best skill, tell us what it is, add your iconic item bonus, and let us know what that is as well.
All right. So my best skill is going to be empathize. That's going to be kind of the core of what Rob is. The iconic item that I have here is going to be the crystal that was given to me from Miss Maggie, that he holds on dear, that is, helped guide him even unconsciously through the decisions that he's had to make. I just add 2 to my.
Please, yeah.
One success.
And with one success, Robot, crystal safely stowed, tumbles by. Casey Mitch Mitchell is the last of his kind. The group's resident conspiracy theorist, he tackles each problem with a mad scientist's focus and a wizard's mania. Despite months of normal life between their adventures, Mitch never left the field of battle, never stopped preparing. The rest of his friends tried to slip back into the real world, into normal life, but he never stopped thinking about the mysteries and the enemies that plagued them. He planned, he plotted, he waited until the evil returned as he knew it would. His time has come. In this frenzied moment of madness, now is his time. Now is the time of the once and future Mitch. Mike, Mitch is spinning in this, the place between. Please roll Mitch's best skill, tell us what it is, add your iconic item bonus, and let us know what that is.
Perfect. Mitch's best skill is Tinker, and his iconic item is the adjustable wrench that he used to take Chief Rugen's bike to town. So let's give that a roll and see what happens. 2 successes, Greg.
Fantastic. And with 2 successes, Michigan times 2. I had my chat window covered. Fantastic. Oh, what a great day. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, with 2 successes, you all have the star field spinning beside you, the rows of these points of light blurring and whirling, but maintaining that very linear path that each of them seem to travel. And with that, you all hit the frigid water of an unknown source. 6 splashes. Roll me force, each of you. Just let me know if you don't have a success.
Looks like successes all around.
The only one to vomit is Ben McKenzie, who, as you are all beneath the level or the surface of this body of water, he vomits beneath the waves like some type of trout that is expelling particles of worm. Whoever is closest, whoever was holding his hand, would see this blast come out of the semi-dark water as you all presumably head towards the surface. As each of you pop, it is cold as the air hits you. The lake that you are on is not frozen over, despite it feeling like it should be. But as you look up, you see a boat maybe 10 feet away from you. And the boy that you know as Chris sits on a bench inside of it. Oh my God, there you are. Come on, quick, come on. And he reaches for one of you. What do you do, my friends, in the final season of Atari Twilight?
When you put it like that, it sounds so dumb.
I don't like the way you put that.
I don't either. I have to ask, what is he wearing? Because the last time we saw Chris, I think he was in a Johnny on a rooftop.
With your success that you had, I will let you know this, that for our campaign, let's just say if you are forced to dive, which you just were, you will be making rolls upon your exit. Those rolls will give you bonuses and aids upon landing in your new destination. With everybody having a success, and with so many successes too, with your best ability inside, you understand the following is you're kind of bobbing on the surface of this frigid water. He appears 16 or 17. He is wearing a heavy jacket. It looks like a Pittsburgh Steelers parka. He has the sleeve rolled up. You see that he is in a larger boat. Normally a boat or a fishing boat of this size would be maybe like a 3 to 4 person number. This is a large boat with a flat nose to it. This is something that could easily house 10 people. And he is reaching for you all. And again, he's older than you've ever seen him. But again, 16, 17.
Like the whole cast, I feel is just suspicious of Greg.
Very much so.
Shannon
Where are
will
we?
be the first to go.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think the if your water is as cold as you're saying it is, that suspicion is gonna be very fleeting, because I'm gonna try to make my way out of the water towards. I don't even know if I'm gonna recognize who it is at this point. I'm just trying to get out of the water.
Absolutely. And so, no force rolls required here. Chris is prepared, and he pulls first Shannon out, and then he pulls Rob out of the water. But it's when he gets to Jerry and Ben. Jerry, when you look into the face of Chris, you are taken back to moments before when you looked down into that cage, that subterranean, that pit cell, and the old face of Main Street Jimmy looked up at you and said that he would meet you again and again and again. And you realize that this is just a younger version of Main Street Jimmy. And his hand reaches out to you, much like it reached up to you from the cell.
I'm so glad to see you. It's so cold. You guys been barfed. Get out of the water.
He grabs hold of Jerry and pulls him up into the boat, grabs hold of Ben, pulls Ben up into the boat. I'm presumably everyone's helping everybody else get out at this point, unless you just fall into the boat and don't help. And I'm assuming George, Mitch, you accept help to get into the boat? As soon
George
as
doesn't need it. He's a robot.
you're just gonna kind of like pike up as soon as you get to the
Dolphins.
edge.
Yeah, I got my 5G chip upgrade, so I just jump in water. So I just boop like a video game.
Flippers.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, whether or not you believe you can do that, that's not what it looks like to everybody else. You just kind of pull yourself up as you get into the water without any assistance.
Mitch is obviously last. Seeing that no one got murdered by random Chris in a lake, he climbs aboard.
Yeah, and making sure that he's sending all of his friends first.
Yeah.
Mitch is aware that he's safe now.
Listen,
and he gets
there's
in.
some reason why he's the only one. I don't want to die in the boat first, okay?
Sure. And so as you all get in, Chris immediately goes to the back of the boat and drops kind of the outboard motor into the water and begins to kind of work the pool. And he turns around and points to several like garbage bags that are there. And he just says, "Dry off. I brought something warm. I'll get you someplace warmer." And he just as he tries to start the motor. But for a moment, with the noise he's making and the frenzy he appears to be in, the six of you have a moment where he's not paying attention.
Shannon's gonna look around and see if there's anybody on the boat. Like, just kind of glance over.
Other than Chris, it's empty.
Was there anything else there? Like, is his belongings there, or is it just these bags?
just these bags, and you can see that there are like towels and blankets kind of half packed into some of these bags. Um, it doesn't take much to realize that when he indicated to get dry, he probably meant using whatever was in these bags. Like you don't see anything that could be like, I don't know, villain sized. So
Or any person sized.
no person sized. No.
Okay.
That's my favorite size Snickers bar is villain sized.
Mine too.
Greg, is there a lake in Garrett, Maryland?
Hey, Mike, there sure is.
Okay, great.
There is. And again, I'll give you this because of the successes that were generated in the dive. It doesn't take long for you all to realize, just because of proximity and the fact that you all grew up here, that this is Queen Lake. It is just outside of Garrett, maybe 10 miles.
Mitch foregoes any bag or drying and just looks to Jimmy or looks to Chris and says, when are we?
And he turns around and says, Saturday, March 4th, 1989. It's like 6 o'clock.
That's 5 months. That's 5 months. And he shouts back to everyone else who can also do math.
Congratulations, you aced math.
Everyone
You
who
want a
can also
towel or
do
not?
math and
Yeah, I was
do
gonna say I'm helping Shannon hand out towels, especially
Yeah.
to Ben.
Yeah, he takes
Rob would have been appreciative, but he's probably just laying there, just trying to get his head around what just happened.
Shannon puts a towel on him.
Because he wasn't going to do the math. But 5 months, yeah.
How do we find out where we are?
What?
What do you mean where?
How do we find out
Where's
where we
Garrett?
are? Yeah,
There's only one lake outside of Garrett.
no, not where we are. Like where. Okay, so we were in our Garrett, and then we know that there's other Garretts and other Chris's, and he just motions to Chris. How do we know?
Maybe start code naming these because it's getting really confusing.
I think they
He
did.
turns around and says, there's only one me. I just get older and stuff.
What?
I don't know what any of that means.
He turns back around.
This Garrett R was the one that your dad had a book. Garrett R and Garrett M, and then R Garrett, and then wherever we found my dad, who's not my dad.
What's
don't
the
know where
difference
that
between
is.
R Garrett and Garrett R?
Garrett R is, I don't know. There was a bad guy who came from there who was mean.
Gosh, then-
It's in your. Do you have your dad's notebook?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's in there. And then Garrett M is where Megatron is from. And then
Is that why you named it R and M?
I didn't name them. It's in his dad's book.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Well, it was only
Oh,
it was only 7 hours ago.
well, a lot has happened in 7 hours, including the fact that I just left my dad in a cage in the middle of nowhere.
I mean,
So, you know, there's
it-
that.
it's if it's infinite universes, we're gonna need more than 26 number designations.
Well, you also have numbers.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
We could also use whole words.
That's also true.
And with that, the motor of the boat roars to life. And everybody, if you would go to your Spotify playlist, please cue up a little Soul to Soul, Back to Life, please. Chris gets behind or in front of the motor and begins speeding you towards the shore. He's not taking you to the nearest shore. You can see that he's moving kind of parallel to the shore, but angling a bit towards the right. And as he's making his move, it's so loud. He's yelling to you just to stay warm and stay down, but he seems to be hell bent to get where he's going, not just because you're cold, but because he needs to be there. I, as your benevolent GM, and for the fact that this is our first episode in nearly a year, I will let you know this. Everything that Chris tells you is super fucking important. With that being said, you are traveling at a high rate of speed towards the nearby shore. You've probably got about a minute or two before you reach wherever it is Chris is taking you. Is there anything you want to do? Chris cannot hear you over the roar of the engine.
Does George feel anything? Does he feel cold? Is he like affected by this anymore now that he's cognizant of being a robot?
Did you dry yourself off? Are you covered in a towel? Did you put a blanket around you?
Probably not. I think he's thinking of other people first, finally. So he probably handed them all out before getting one for himself.
You don't seem to be uncomfortable.
Cool. I do not tell myself off then.
Do you pretend to be cold?
Nah. Not at all.
Then everyone would notice that you haven't towed off and are not attempting to stay warm. Anybody else want to do anything as you rocket towards the shore? Ben would notice George and kind of nudge Jerry from where he sits beside him and kind of give the old chin point, and then look at Jerry for some type of approval or always approval.
Jerry will be, drying off as best he can. He might change into some dry clothes, but he's bashful. So he just kind of sucks it up. And Mitch, you brought us here.
No, the portal brought us here.
But it was you.
I don't know how portals work. I don't even know how this works.
When you did the thing, you touched the right, and you pulled, and the thing, it opened.
Yeah. No, I remember that.
Yeah, but so where are we?
I don't know. This is only the arguably fourth time I've done this. None of them were intentional.
Well, you know what? I know what I'm doing the fourth time I've done stuff.
Really? Make lightning hands.
Not here. It's not. We're on the water.
Might be the smartest thing Jerry's ever said.
And the last smart thing he'll ever say.
I think it shuts Mitch up, too. Like, he doesn't know how to respond to that. Okay. All right. I'll work on it, I guess. Do you have your walkie?
Yeah, it got wet.
It's better than nothing. And he has a towel on his shoulders, but has not dried off because of concern. And he's taking it apart and shaking the water out of it and blowing it and using the towel to dry up the walkie-talkie as best as possible.
Yeah, that fucker's fried.
Yeah, of course it is, Greg. That thing's been through so much water and portals. It's
Greg said it. Shannon was gonna be just shaking her head what an idiot.
Yeah, he's like, I see what you're doing. Let me stop you right there.
Right. I mean, to be fair, whenever you created the Mitchie Talkies, you never said anything about weatherproofing them.
No,
they were raw wires and soldering and
the Mitchie Talkies are just walkie-talkies with tape on the back. That's it.
No. You created you actually did a roll.
Oh yeah, I made I boosted the radius. Yeah, I boosted the radius.
Yeah,
he's still gonna fuck with this. He's gonna try to fix this. This is our only. We've lost so many of them. This is our only means of communication.
Right, and there are elements of it to be saved, of course, but a lot of the electronic elements of it, water doesn't work real well with those. And so you can see what can be salvaged, just kind of, that's your initial kind of just looking at it. And I believe there's 2 Mitchie Talkies still within the group, Mitch's and Jerry has
and Jerry's.
Oh, okay. Butts and Jerry. Jerry's has never been turned on. So
yes.
Right. So yeah, you have 2 of them, but they're both waterlogged at present. As you're riding towards the shore, you see that there is what looks to be a small fishing shack about 20 yards from the shore. It seems that is the destination that Chris is heading towards. There is a small plume of white smoke coming out from the top of this basically glorified shed. And he just kind of points to it from his seat in the back.
Think he's got a fire in there? Maybe smoke. Just guessing.
I don't know.
This is weird. Is this weird for anybody else?
How did you know we were going to be in the
That's what I'm thinking.
Lake?
I mean, he also says he's the same Chris, he just gets older.
Which means that he's done this before, probably. Multiple times. This is weird.
I feel like this is one of the least weird things we've had.
Well, if there's one of him over and over again, then maybe he knows when he dies, and that's pretty freaking weird.
Now, in the middle of all this, Rob is just going to yell at Chris. Hey, Chris, how many times have you done this?
He looks to Mitch. You can hear the question being yelled kind of over the motor and the wind, but he looks to Mitch and then he looks back at you, Rob. Seven times, Rob, but this is my first time with a Mitch.
And then Rob's going to look back and look at all of them and just go,
What happened the last time, Chris?
We're here. And he takes the boat directly onto shore. You can hear the propeller hit rock as it, and you guys, and he runs up and kind of jumps splashing down in about 4 or 5 inches of water as he tries to help you all off the boat, pointing towards the shed. We gotta hurry. We don't have much time.
You said this is the first Mitch. Am I dead here? Where am I?
Man, you're supposed to know that stuff.
I don't. This is
They
my
told
first
me
time.
you would.
Great. Yeah.
Shit. Okay.
Maybe you do know, you just don't remember.
Or I don't know yet. I don't know how time works. Okay. All right. Okay.
Speaking of time, everybody, any of you that had conditions or injuries, like, I don't know, a broken finger or fingers that were blistered from electricity, it's all been healed. You feel sound and fit as a fiddle, almost like your body had 4 months to recuperate.
I hate that.
Chris runs and opens the door to the shack. Come on, we don't have much time.
What's the rush?
It's always a rush, man.
Time for what?
We don't have much time. They told me we weren't going to have much time.
Who's they?
Stop
Me.
asking him questions. There's not much time.
We need to know answers before we do anything.
Oh, I miss your straightforwardness, Jerry.
that's
Who
what
told
he
you
said.
there wasn't time, Chris?
Shannon, you would remember Chris. Chris used to hang out with you and
Yep.
Dutch and me, and he was kind of like the Ben of your group, but he was, a little bit picked on a little bit more than perhaps the Ben of this group. So he does feel a little bit better with you. I told me, Shannon, I don't know what the hell's going on. You all are supposed to be, I'm supposed to help. That's what I'm supposed to help.
Chris, this is not the weirdest thing that's happened to us today.
He's
Can
got
you
a
go
point.
inside?
Yes.
Yes, we can go inside. Let's just go inside. Chris,
All right,
who
so-
is still alive here?
Here at this Garrett?
Yeah.
Nobody. This Garrett never had you guys.
Ever?
Ever. No, none of you. That's why you were sent here. They wouldn't look for you here.
Wait, who won't look for us here?
Them. He who walks between the rows.
Oh.
The false. They won't look here.
People that want to
Wait,
kill us.
that's why we were sent here? I accidentally triggered a thing and we fell here.
Hey, man, I'm just going by what they told me.
Okay, it's all right, Chris. I don't mean to yell at you. This is all new, man.
This is only my 7th time doing this, man.
It's only my 4th.
Only?
We went to 1969 and then some terrible, horrible gremlin feature. And then, well, I guess it's my 3rd time. Now here. I guess if we count going back home, we did go back home.
I tell you what, man, roll me when you mention
Horrible gremlin future.
when you mention the gremlin future, roll me I'll take a contact here or a heart or charm. I'm sorry.
Contact or charm. Both are my dump stats. So let's go with a contact. 0 successes.
I will let you know that you may push, but you will accept the condition if you do so. You may use your luck to re-roll, or you can use your pride for an immediate success.
No, Mitch
Pride
doesn't know
is
things. He knows people. He doesn't know people, he knows things.
I'll let you all know this is a great time to let everybody know too that your pride is something that can be expended and not replenished for several episodes. Your luck will be back each episode. I'll let you know when pride is refilled. But okay, so yeah, you see something kind of pass over his features, but what you can glean from perhaps it's because he's older, perhaps you just don't know him well enough. Um, he moves you all inside. When you go inside this little shed along the lake, Queen Lake, in a garret where none of you ever existed, um, you see several things. You see that there's clothing, dry clothing, and not necessarily your clothing, but clothing of similar styles to what you would wear: jeans, t-shirts, sweatshirts, things of that nature. Nothing that would speak of being out of place in 1988 or 89. Um, again, this isn't the outfit that Rob wore to Stonehenge. That was straight from the 70s. This actually has some blendability to it. In addition to that, you see a box full of radio parts and batteries. And when you're holding the Mitchy Talkie in your hand, Mitch, Chris kind of looks at the box and says, I did good, right?
Yeah, man. Sure. He immediately starts like he dumps the box out.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically like 3 or 4 radios, 2 of which are working. Um, all 4 have viable parts to them and a shitload of batteries of various sizes. Um, you can tell this was grabbed by somebody that has no idea what they're doing, but was told that a radio might be needed.
I think Mitch just goes to town. He's just working on radios.
Okay. So as soon as the door closes and as soon as you all have like a beat or two to get warm, there's a pot-bellied stove that's roaring, producing an incredible amount of heat in this small area. You're able to dry off, to take off sweatshirts, get on. Ben immediately, is just shivering his small frame. He pulls off his sweatshirt and begins to put on another. Chris steps to the middle of the room, and as if he has rehearsed this, he begins to speak, and he is turning almost in a slow 360 carousel to make sure that each of you can hear this as he says it. If you all had stayed in Garrett, at least one of you would have fallen. Only one way to give you a chance was to force you to a series of dives. It's not as simple as fixing problems. It's more about learning from them. If you can help, help, but remember what you see. Learn from the mistakes that were made by the adults and take advantage of knowledge not known in your Garrett. They will be chasing you through the worlds. This, and he almost like he's presenting a car at a roadshow. This is a boring Garrett. Nothing to fix, but also nothing to put you in danger. This Garrett doesn't have any of you, so you were dropped in a random spot. If you dive to a Garrett where you exist, you'll take the spot of your person there. Not their body, you'll still be you, but you'll take over their lives. Things you see in the other Garretts are almost always based in fact, despite how they might look. All the Garretts are different. Some by a little, some by a lot. They will track you using the crystals. You need to drop 1 or 2 at each spot. It confuses them, but don't put them in the lake. I told someone to put them in the lake and that didn't work. If you don't split them up, they'll all get to you at the same time and you won't make it. You can trust. You can trust me. You can trust me or Main Street Jimmy. You can trust Maggie most of the time. You can trust that FBI agent Gene Tyler, but he's not in Garrett a whole lot. Everyone else, everyone that you know, put them on the do not trust list. Here, take this. And he produces from his pocket a circular flat stone. And he lifts it out. Who takes it? does anyone take it? He hands it to Shannon. Take this. It's from our Garrett, where we're from, Garrett. If I am in wherever you go, and he reaches into his pocket and pulls out an identical stone, I'll know it. They'll vibrate, and there's a little bit of a magnetrine effect. That basically, they fucking shake and lift off the ground about an inch. If you're in the city limits, I'll know, and you can find me, and hopefully I'll fucking know what's going on by then. Okay. Shit. And you see him reach into his pocket and he pulls out a McDonald's napkin and he begins to read from the back of it. When a dive is coming, you'll feel a pop in your ears, like when you go off the mountain headed downstate. Sometimes I get nosebleeds too. Mitch, you can try to control this. You're the only one that can. I don't know what the fuck that means. When you dive, don't tie yourselves together. Whatever you do, don't tie yourselves together. And you see tears start to roll down his face. One group did, and I only found pieces of most of them. You can try to hold yourselves together, but don't tie yourselves together. It's at this point, without the need for a roll, that most of you realize that the person in front of you is hopelessly lost, for lack of a better word. Pick a place to meet. When you get to a new Garrett, you'll need a place to meet. Don't pick buildings. They can change, and names can change, and people can change. Pick a spot. Pick a spot in town, and then pick a secondary spot, and pick a third spot, so you all know where to meet, because you'll get separated. Sleep outside as much as you can. I don't know why, but it's all I know.
Think I kind of get it, guys.
Me too, but maybe you should tell these guys.
Sure.
Chris comes over to Mitch. Mitch, you said you've done this before. You said you've done it before. None of the other people that I talked to said they'd ever done it before.
Yeah, accidentally. We all did it accidentally.
They said that you could do it, that you could control it. They said you could control it.
I did it on purpose once.
Okay. Well, listen. They told me that whenever I meet a Mitch, that my next jump is going to take me to the war, and I don't want to go. Can you stop it?
What war?
They're going to send me to Vietnam, man. They say I was supposed to go there.
It's 1988.
I don't know, man. I'm 17, man, and it's 1989. I should only be 15.
It's 1989.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess you said that. Shit. Okay, it's the 5 months thing. I don't.
Could you try?
I can try.
Because man, I don't want to go, man.
I mean, I could end up sending you to the bottom of the ocean. I don't know how it works.
I'll take it.
Jesus, Chris. I mean, have you seen Back to the Future?
Is that the one with the kid from Family Ties?
Yeah, where he tries to not bang his mom.
Huh? No, I didn't see it.
No? Okay. Shit. Okay. In case I don't get you to the right place or time or something, you should read books, like all of them, all of the books about Vietnam and the war. And then what you do is you take the information you know, and then if you have to go to the war, only go to the safe spots that we didn't have a lot of casualties, and like that stuff. And you can use what you know now to help you then.
Oh God, that's good, man.
Thanks.
Oh, do you think they have that in the library?
I would imagine so, if this Garrett also had a Vietnam War.
Oh man, all right. Yeah. But you're gonna still try, right? And you see a line of blood come out of Chris's left nostril. You're gonna try, right, man?
He like looks at the line of blood and immediately throws he throws Rob a walkie, and he throws one to Shannon, one of one of the three he was working on. Yeah, I can try.
What is it?
And he just kind of like makes a helicopter
shit.
motion.
My ears just pop. Mitch, you gotta try it, man. You gotta stop it.
He just grabs Jimmy by whatever his shirt is, and he's gonna try. Whatever that means.
Right, and I believe it's roll a comprehend for me.
Zero successes, Greg.
You may push, you may use your luck, or you may use your pride. Push gets a condition.
You know what? I'm gonna give a luck this situation here. I'll re-roll. Nope.
You can feel that tremor, almost like whenever you were trying to pull Mr. Locke out through the cage. When the portal opened behind you, you didn't see it, as you had said in the narrative, but you felt it as it opened and kind of was generated. And you feel that again, but this time as you're holding on to Chris, to Jimmy, you see his eyes get wider, and he reaches up to say something, and you don't hear anything coming from his mouth. And then his jacket, his Steelers parka, turns to water in your hands as he falls backwards and splashes on the floor. You are alone somewhere.
Man, I hope we don't all go one at a time.
Well, just in case we do, we need a specific spot to go to, because apparently we don't have a lot of time, which to me says that like right now, not a lot of time potentially. So walk north 20 miles from, I'm just kidding. Don't walk 20 miles.
That sounds awful.
2 miles? 1 mile? I don't know.
Why don't we?
Which way?
From where we all met, the scavenger, the heap.
Teletran to that big hill.
Yeah, that one.
So
at sunup.
Okay. Then the second place.
That's all
is
I got. I don't know.
So spot 1, Teletran 2, or whatever that is, and spot 2, the big hill, and then spot 3, and he just kind of like looks around. Spot 3.
I don't know. We can't go to like actual locations, he said, right? Like
that's
somewhere
why
within the
I
vicinity.
said the hill.
Yeah.
I assume the terrain doesn't change.
What if it does?
Here?
Here?
This is a backup of a backup, I guess. Yeah.
It's pretty far outside of town, but okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What time?
Sunup.
Yeah.
Always sun up. Okay.
Or
unless
down,
you want
I
to
guess,
be
whatever,
like going somewhere in the middle of the darkness.
I mean, it's just predictable if all 3 times are the same.
I guess it depends on what time we arrive at. If it's the middle of the day, sundown. If it's
but what if we arrive at different
But we
times?
can't control that. It needs to be constant for each spot. So the spot, you don't have it be 3 different times.
Right.
Once we jump, you have two days to get to the spot. If we all make it before then, good.
Us before then?
Keep-
Isn't the first objective is to stop whatever we're doing and go and meet? Or try to, at least. And then if we don't all show up, then we know something's happened. I don't know. I don't know how this is actually supposed to work. This is completely my working theory right now.
Yeah, I guess the first time we wing it, if we all arrive at different time, we just kind of figure it out. Go to the spot.
And who's to say we actually arrive in the same time together? What if we all go to different ones, all the different Garretts, and then
the only person who knew anything disappeared and was reading off of a napkin.
Did he leave the napkin behind?
No.
Ben is holding it.
Oh.
It says that we all go together.
So we're like tied together then.
We're not. It says not to tie yourselves together.
No, not like physically.
It's
tied
underlined.
Together. Like we always travel together.
Guys, I got all this rope for some reason.
Don't use the rope.
Greg keeps giving me this rope.
Okay. Well, that's relieving. But he did say that we aren't we're us, but we're not us, which means I'm thinking like we're in the mind of whoever actually exists there. So we're not.
He opens the napkin into like a 4-paneled square and looks around for a second. It says that we're still us, but we take the spot of if there's an us there.
Yeah, do we like get put into that person's shoes, literally?
Ben looks all over, flips it over, takes about 20 seconds, looks back at you, Shannon. I don't know.
Okay, let's work that theory for just a second. If that's the case, it means whatever that we were doing and whoever conversations we are part of, like we just take over. So that's not going to be suspicious whatsoever if we have to deal with the bad version of us or anything, right?
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. George says in a
Really helpful, George.
I mean, I guess we just got to figure it out. I mean, unfortunately, you guys are going to have to play pretend. I think I have to.
Oh, that's right. You don't have to do any of that. That's nice.
Yeah, except I'm dead everywhere.
Maybe you just didn't exist.
Equally suspicious if a random stranger or dead person shows up in the middle of town.
Well, let's hope that you're not dead in those towns.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, don't look like you.
Okay. Super helpful, Shannon.
I don't think anybody's seen you without the headband.
Oh, shave your head.
No.
I
So
could punch you a lot in your face, then you won't be recognizable.
Why such hostility? I just suggested we have to figure it out.
You're saying that we have to wing it, and we don't even know.
What kind of bird?
Look,
Pigeon.
we randomly showed up in 1969 and we winged it. We randomly showed up in Gremlin Hell and we winged it. Now we're wherever the hell this is.
And now we're still at the end of the world. Obviously, winging it isn't working.
Well,
No, but we kind of nailed it in the 60s.
I don't understand what we're trying to get at here. We need to get our 3 locations, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We got
So we
it.
have Teletran, we
hill.
have Queen Lake. What was the other one?
The hill.
The hill.
The hill. There's like several hills.
No, that's like the really giant hill in Garrett.
Oh, the hill. Okay, why
Yeah.
didn't you say so?
I said the hill.
And then do we want to do sun up or sun down?
I think just go there and wait.
Well, there has to be a limit to it because
Right.
then you just sit there and dally instead of finding another backup location, right?
Yeah,
You have
'cause
to.
we have to get
do we wait
information when we're there.
12
right?
hours? Do we wait a day? How long do we wait at that location?
I don't know, man. Just pick a time.
Okay, fine. Until 2 hours past sundown, and then we go and try to figure out what the hell is going on there.
Okay, 2 hours past sundown. If it doesn't work, then guess what? We'll wing it and we'll figure out what does work. But we can't sit here and try to figure out what's working. None of us are experts in this.
So what do we do now? Just wait for Mitch to decide to do things?
That was accusatory.
Let's not turn on each other,
But
right?
I'm
He
not.
can't
I'm just
control it.
asking what we're
Do you
supposed
Well,
have
I mean,
the walkie that I
it's
gave
not
you,
helping.
Butts?
Yeah, here, and it's like dripping with water.
Mitch is gonna crack that one open too with the one that he got from Jerry and slide them close-ish to the potbelly stove to attempt to dry them out as best he can. After toweling them.
That in addition to the parts you have, roll me a tinker for both of them. How's that?
Sure. Greg, remind me, how does iconic item work? Can you use it just willy-nilly, or is it once per session? What's the...
If you can, argue for why it would work in the situation, I allow you to spam it. So.
Adjustable wrench. It's what he uses to fix everything.
Sounds good to me.
Perfect. 4 successes, Greg. I can't die for shit, but...
With the pieces that were provided by Chris and your ability to kind of dry out the pieces that weren't ruined by the water, you get them both functioning within a half hour.
Perfect. Okay, I think this helps. We have 5. It's Ben, stay with somebody, right? So,
I'm going to stay with Jerry.
Great, and hopefully that works. But we have 5 functional walkie-talkies as long as we don't get them wet again. We hope for the best, and we try to communicate when we land.
Well, no, okay, hold on. The whole communicate when we land thing is problematic if, say, one of us gets put into like the behind enemy lines situation.
I think everywhere is behind enemy lines.
I'm just gonna keep my walkie off, okay?
Okay, sure.
Just turn it off before we jump, and don't turn it on until you're safe.
Yeah.
Conserve power that way. So
He also said something about
Now what?
leaving crystals behind. We only got so many, so
I'm not.
probably-
This is a special crystal.
But you
But
got a,
also-
napkin.
He grabs the crystal.
you got a bag of them, buddy.
It says to leave 1 or 2 behind, and it will split them up so you don't face them all at once. I don't know what any of that means, but
Seems like a really good idea to not face all of them at once.
how do we know where we need to be and when we're there? Do we have a good idea of that?
No,
Yeah, that's what I
Ben-
thought.
I don't know any of
Ben
this.
looks at the napkin. I don't know.
Maybe we need to go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
Greg, this is a reach. I don't remember. I know I took the giant map that my not dad wrote on a
Yep.
bunch of menus and stuff. Do I have that? I remember I put it in the battle wagon, but I don't remember if I took it out when we went to Castle Grayskull.
You did not take it out when you went to Castle Grayskull. You had put magnets up on the inside of the battle wagon. So
Yeah, who knew we'd be
can
teleporting
attempt-
out of the.
you can attempt to remember something
Um.
if you want.
Yeah, I didn't really comprehend a lot of what was written on there, but yeah, I'll try to remember. I got a McDonald's napkin here. I can write on something.
I mean, I know I got a success and could decipher a very small portion of it. Would there be a? Could I help add to his?
You can help him and see how this will work. Frags is you can add a +1 die to Mitch's roll. If Mitch decides to push it and gets a condition, that would affect you as well. So
I'm ride or die, baby. Let's do it.
Okay,
All right.
what am I rolling, Greg?
comprehend, please.
Comprehend. Well, let me just roll an extra d6. I forgot to do that. 1d6. Four frags. So 1 success. You are muted, Greg.
Okay, so as you're looking at it, you can see that it's there was just so much that was on that map. But when you kind of piece together those kind of kaleidoscopes of different sections that were kind of giving you information, and that whoever that was writing on it in your trailer was kind of cross-referencing things and putting information down, you do realize that you read something that was called the Gray Garret. And the only reason why you remember that name, Gray Garret, is because it said none of them exist there. Now, again, the them wasn't identified in what you're recalling. But again, Chris just said that none of you all exist here.
Okay. Okay. I think we just have to wait until it happens, or I can try to force it. But if I force the dive, I don't know where we go. Or we could try to find Grayskull again, whatever this version of Grayskull is, and hope they have a portal. If they even have a loop here.
We gotta fix what they did. So we know a couple of them, right? The R, did you say R?
R and M.
So we gotta go there.
No, I know where we have to go. I just don't know how to get there. I guess
And
we go to
then-
town?
Then that's not like we can just ask which alphabet we're at.
Right.
Part of the alphabet.
Right. I guess we can recon, right? We go in town. Chris said none of us exist here, so just a bunch of weird kids that just showed up in town. And it's nighttime, so maybe it's less suspicious if we're creeping around. I don't know. Or
It's
less
6 a.m.
Shit. It's 6 a.m., guys. It'll be super obvious that we're creeping around town.
Well, let's not creep. Let's just act like we belong here.
Yeah.
This This is just a jump off point, isn't it? Nothing's here.
That's kind of what I was wondering. But how do we know where to? We don't know. I don't know. I'm going to ask. We don't know. We just need to wait for it to happen, right? You can't control it, can you, Mitch?
I can try.
Okay, try.
Well, we have to hold on. Let's hold hands.
We can't
Isn't
tie
that
each
almost
other
the
up.
equivalent
Yeah, don't
as tying? No.
Hey, he shows the napkin. It says you can try to hold on, but you can't tie each other.
Okay, look, I don't know how this works, so I'm gonna stand here, and he moves like the middle of the cabin, and everyone just put a hand on me, and hope for the best, guys.
Okay, wait, where are we going?
I don't know. Where would you like to go?
Shannon very heavily puts her hand on your head, on the top of your head.
Perfect.
I don't know.
Just
but
on your
can
face,
you
just
go to a
obnoxiously.
place where my dad is still okay? That'd be cool.
Okay, great. Super vague answer. I'll do my best. And he's gonna concentrate on a place where Sean Locke is okay.
Ben would take his position beside Jerry, and as this is going on, he looks at Jerry and just says, "Hey man, we'll try to hold on, okay, so we can be together."
Yeah, man. Yeah, I won't leave you behind.
All right, man, thanks. I don't comprehend.
Cool. Do I get any bonuses for, I don't know, bullshit, Greg?
Fuck no.
All right,
Still
dope.
don't comprehend.
Dope. One success.
The success gives you this information. You don't feel a buzz at all when you try this. You don't feel like you're making any progress whatsoever. This concentration, or at least this avenue and act, is not how you do it.
Okay,
I
good
think it's
news.
happening.
Good news and bad news. Good news, we didn't atomize. Bad news, it's not working.
Wait, what?
It's not. It doesn't.
You're saying we're not dead is the good news.
Yeah, the good news is we didn't explode. The
Right.
bad news is this doesn't work. Something has to happen.
Okay, so let's think
Rob,
back at
hug
the
him.
times that you did do it.
We were getting shot at by robots.
Okay.
I really wanted to see my dad,
Okay.
and I really wanted to go home.
What do you really want to do right now?
Figure this out, and also go home.
How bad do you want to go home though?
I mean, I guess we have to do other stuff first. So, I don't know. I don't know.
We can start by trying to get something to eat.
What?
Just go into town and see what's going
It's
on.
like 10 miles into town. Did he even leave us a car here?
You could take the boat.
The boat's on a lake.
No one's checked for a land vehicle.
George will look. He pulls open the curtain, looking out the road.
You see a trail leading through the woods. You know that a lot of these lake cabins don't have like roads that go directly up to the lake. They're just little trails. You kind of have to walk to the cabin. From this position, you can't see anything. You do see a trail leading away from the lake, though.
Like a
there's-
footpath or like road trail.
Not like a road, but like a foot trail, a footpath leading away.
Okay, so it's not like a dirt road or anything. So it's just footpaths. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Well, we could stay here and play Parcheesi. None of you guys seem to really want to do that because none of you guys turn to water. So maybe we go for a walk, see what we can find on the road.
Yeah, I think we just walk towards town.
Yeah.
Okay. We walk.
You leave the cabin behind, taking, I'm assuming, everything that you can think of that would help you in your bit of a quest here. You travel outside of the cabin for about 90 seconds, and you see a truck that is parked at the edge of the footpath.
Dibs. Just saying.
Great.
Sure.
How much room is there actually inside of the truck, or are they sitting in the cab? Or
You
the,
can
the bed?
Yeah, I was going to say there is enough to comfortably fit 3 people in the cab of the truck. You could squeeze Ben in for 4.
George will just hop in the back. He knows.
The truck completely weighs down and we can't move anymore. He's a robot.
Same with Rob. Like he already he feels like he's like, whatever. I'm gonna jump in. It's not an issue.
Mitch also jumps in the back of the truck.
That's where all the cool kids go.
Well, Jerry and Ben will ride up front then.
I also think this is the same configuration in 1969 when we were fighting in the back of the truck.
Yeah, Ben calls shotgun. Does Jerry allow him to have shotgun?
I mean, if he beat me to it, he beat me to it. I got to respect the rules.
Okay, so Ben is like crushed up against the door, but shotgun he has. As the rest of you are in the back, Shannon, the keys are in the ignition. You notice that there is a takeout bag with an old styrofoam Big Mac container from McDonald's in the front. You all are
McDonald's.
Rob, you eat that.
No.
How bad is the road getting out of here? Like, is it obvious, or am I driving through the forest again?
No, not at all. This is the road like leads up to the footpath. It's regulation that you can't have cars actually get close enough to the water to do anything other than kind of put a boat into the water. And that's only at certain slips in certain places you can do that. And so, yeah, the road quickly becomes, it's like gravel for maybe a couple 100 yards. And then you're on blacktop. You're heading down like a rural route in just a few minutes. If your destination is Garrett, I would like you all to go to your Spotify playlist, put on a little Philip Collins, Another Day in Paradise, please. And as you are driving along this rural route, you see, within just a bit, you see the farms begin to kind of bleed into existence on either side of the road as you kind of leave the elevation of Queen Lake. You see mailboxes with the name of Bradley and Lewis as they go by. And within moments, you hit that last rise and you dip down into what looks just like Garrett, Maryland. What do you do?
Where are we going now that we're here? Sort of here.
Let's just see where the road takes us.
But it took us to Garrett.
That McDonald's wrapper had Rob pretty hungry.
Jesus Christ.
Shannon heads towards the nearest food location.
I swear I'm not projecting.
Yeah, and strangely enough, on your way into town, where none exists in the Garrett that you're from, beside the, strangely enough, again, the Feed and Breed livestock store is a freestanding McDonald's. The bastion of all fast food.
You have any money, Rob?
I don't think any of us have any money.
This smells free.
Why?
Okay, hear me out. We've been trying to get a McDonald's in Garrett for years. What if we just stay here?
Then our Garrett and everyone we know dies, I think.
What if we're not there?
No, I think that's what I think the bad guys are already there. Oh, and also, Chris said that the bad guys chase us. So they'll eventually
were we supposed to leave
here.
any crystals? Did we actually do that?
What if we're the reason our Garrett doesn't have a McDonald's?
Guys,
Oh, shoot.
I don't think the McDonald's is... He just turns to George and says, I think leaving it at the drop zone would be a bad idea. If we keep coming into that lake and Chris keeps finding us, leaving
That's
a crystal
true.
there would probably be a bad idea.
You're right.
Ben's looking back and forth between you all. Let's get back to this McDonald's theory.
Damn it, Ben. Ben, if we stay here, Sarge dies. And your mom again. And Sarge's wife again.
Ben's face falls a little bit, and he gives you that almost like a low blow kind of look, but he doesn't say anything.
We have to get out of here. We have to go somewhere.
Castle Grayskull is probably the best bet.
That's where it happened.
Yeah. That or the
Yeah.
Chat and Chew?
We're in the Gray Garrett. Gray Skull?
I mean, I guess.
We can't trust anyone. Not really.
No,
We can
basically
trust
can't
each other.
anybody.
Well, yeah.
Um,
Oh man.
Can we trust each other?
I mean,
I
Well-
trust you, Shannon.
at least as much as we have been the whole time.
Where did we land on the whole vampire thing?
It's still an open discussion.
It is not an open discussion.
It is
It is
wide
not.
open.
Just because you guys don't get it doesn't mean
I'm
it's an open
still
discussion.
not convinced.
As open as the bed of this truck.
Shannon like throws the door to the truck open and walks out, takes the keys with her.
Now what?
So-
Okay,
Guess we're going to McDonald's, guys.
I guess so.
Ben opens up his door and says, kind of through the window to the back, where I'm assuming you guys were talking through to have this conversation. Just says, "You guys are such," and then he kind of whispers "ticks" as she gets out.
I think we're a bad influence on him.
He's gonna. It's you.
Me.
Look, I just said it was
What's the
open.
situation inside of the McDonald's? Are there like wallets readily visible for Shannon?
Jesus, Shannon.
So you're scoping the joint to see if you can.
Yeah, we don't have money.
Sure.
Greg, were you planning for petty theft? Because
I was-
just
I-
good
I
plans,
mean-
buddy.
Listen, I plan for everything with you all. I just never expect it.
Yeah.
I mean, you hang around with me enough, you're gonna know at some point I'm gonna suggest getting fast food.
Okay, roll me a sneak.
Can I
If you're
use
trying-
the iconic item as it applies to it or no?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, is this you trying to find them, or are you just going to go straight
Oh.
ahead and take one if you can?
Well, okay. I guess I was trying to see if there were any, but if you want me to like do a roll for that first and then.
Oh, no, I'm gonna
attempt
give you- Yeah, I'm going to
Okay.
give you the fact that there are plenty. This is like
Okay.
1980s. I grew up so hillbilly central, so you see like the big like wallets that are like 2 wallet size sticking out of the
Yeah,
back
yeah.
pockets, and
Are there individuals who are alone versus like with other people?
absolutely, this is a McDonald's, so
Okay.
you can find single diners or you can find anybody from a group of 2, 3, 4.
Is there like I don't really know how old school McDonald's used to look like, but I feel like I remember there being like a bar top area, sort of like not the lower seating, but the upper.
There sure can be.
So it'd be easier to swipe somebody's stuff if they were like a little bit more hand level there. So she's gonna go for the one of them. Yeah.
Roll me a sneak then.
Okay. 3 successes.
You have a wallet with $52 in it.
Sweet. She casually.
You also
just
have
kinda
a
walks
driver's
in.
license and
Yeah.
a Sears card.
Sweet. Shopping spree.
Sears
Let's
and
go.
Roebuck.
She kind of walks back out, or like she motions her head and like has people like kind of uses her hand to usher them in, so it's not weird for her to go back out and come back in. And she like kind of slowly takes the cash out of the wallet and looks down and looks at the license that's in the wallet. Do I recognize the name?
Nope, Tom Long. It's not anybody that you know from Garrett. It's not a name that pops up. The address on there says it's from Baltimore, Maryland. You would assume this
Okay.
is a traveler of some kind in search of a Sears.
Okay, there's nothing else in the wallet.
I mean, there's a couple pictures of kids you don't know, and
Okay. She'll wait for the kids to get into the McDonald's and quietly put like the wallet under her arm behind her jacket. So she's like holding it to her body with her elbow.
easy enough to do. And with 3 sneaks, I'm not going to make you roll to see if this person sees you. You are deftly concealing your crime.
I
What do the
just
rest of you do?
relieved him of his burdens. Okay, it's not a crime.
Right.
The
You
stress-
stranded him in the middle of nowhere with no
This-
money, no Sears card, and no driver's license. That's okay.
The stress of money is so, are there, Greg, are there a lot of people in here? Like, it's 6 a.m., but are there besides Tom Long?
Get that make
Yeah,
muffin,
there's
baby.
there's a bunch of people in here. This is, the town's waking up, and people are coming here either traveling from the interstate, getting off for a little Mickey D's, or just grabbing some this fine morning.
Mitch like pulls on Butts. Dude, I have an idea. What if you go in, right? Like you're a schmoozy guy. What if you go in and you just like schmooze up to like an adult, and then you can just point to any other adult in here and be like, oh yeah, that's my dad or whatever. But be like, hey, I'm from out of town. What's there to do around here? And that's how you get intel.
Or one of the cashiers might be a kid.
It's
I just ask him, like, hey,
6
I'm new in town.
it's 6 a.m.
You got to work before going to school.
Like,
People like work the farm before they come in. So,
I think it's a family thing. I think there's a law. for
is
that.
it?
There's
I
a
wouldn't know.
younger
I've never worked in
person.
my life.
There's a younger person working as a cashier. You would guess she's probably 19, maybe 20.
Nice. Okay. I'll look back. I got this. And I like straighten on my jacket, make sure it's not wrinkled, like God forbid, after jumping 5 times or whatever. And I'll go up and I pull out my wallet to make sure I have enough money. Because I'm from wealth. And I
Sure.
order myself a coffee and a whatever, a egg McMuffin. So
Those are quickly produced for you as the large coffee, which is about this big, is given to you. Cream sugar?
no, that's fine. I like that you called me sugar though. That was sweet of you.
Roll charm.
Oh yes. 3 successes.
I didn't. Oh, it's smooth, she says.
So what's there to do in town?
Are you
When
from
do you
here?
get off work? No, I'm past. We're vacationing up by the lake, but
She leans forward. You can see that her name tag says Lisa.
so Lisa, when do you get off work?
2.
Okay. Well, when you get off work, what would you do?
Probably go to the mall. I'm gonna pick up some. She's flustered. 3 successes of charm is something that Lisa's not necessarily expecting here at 6 a.m. on the morning shift at Mickey D's. Would you? I mean, do you want to get like more coffee?
At 2, we should get like Orange Julius or something.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. You want to meet at the mall at Center Court?
Yeah.
What's your favorite color?
Green.
I'll be wearing green.
Cool. I'll see you then. Ding.
As soon as you walk off, if you look back, she is talking to an older lady that works there. And you can tell that it's complimentary, not like, can you believe this fucking kid? But she probably hasn't guessed your age yet.
That's a very good thing. I'm 14.
And the older lady kind of looks at you like she knows your age. Like she's guessed it. She's dialed in, but she's kind of nods to Lisa. You have successfully gathered an egg McMuffin, a coffee, and the affection of Lisa.
Cool. I don't think I got anything useful out of that, but that was fun. So
What
here
did
we
you,
are.
What did you
What's
get?
that
You can
combo
just
number?
pick up somebody at the McDonald's counter.
In another dimension?
How did that help us, man?
Look, I don't know about you, but I feel better. So
Right. So good that you feel better. That's great.
well, some of us, we can't all be rotten like you. Come on.
How did
Ryan,
that-
I just got cash for everybody to get food.
Shh.
But
you could've-
okay.
Shh. You just stole that.
What?
Shh. You can't just be shouting about how you got cash.
You stole
Nobody
a wallet?
knows.
Except for the guy.
I
who's missing.
borrowed.
Oh.
They'll
And I
get their
just, like-
Sears card back, okay? Jeez.
Everybody
Oh,
roll me
it's-
an investigate.
Oh boy.
Guys, I think the McRib's coming back.
Good timing, Michael. That's very topical.
Ironically, it also came back in 1989. It was taken off the menu for a long time.
I think Mitch is the only fail.
Mitch is through to enthrall with the McRib.
So it's Rob.
Shamrock Shake. It is March, right?
That's true.
The Shamrock Shake is in full effect. Rob, you're the first one to notice, quickly followed by everybody else that had a success. Over at the corner window of the big kind of large solarium type window at the front of the McDonald's sits Mr. Derry. He's by himself.
Well, how about that?
No. We can't trust anybody.
No, I agree. I have zero
okay.
plans to engage in that
I
situation whatsoever.
thought you were excited about that. So
No, more like, oh, here's somebody that might kill us. Or
he might not.
I'm not taking that chance.
I didn't really like him or dislike him, so I don't care. But if one of you guys wants to talk to him, I'll watch from over here.
I actually a big fan. He helped us out like a huge amount against the Decepticons.
Well, if you're such a fanboy, then go and talk to him.
Okay, sure. He walks over. Greg, what does he look like? Does this look like, tweed jacket, teacher, Mr. Derry, or does he look like business suit, I still work at the Loop, Mr. Derry?
This looks like teacher, Mr. Derry, same age as you would remember him being. If you want a face claim, it's sort of like Will Wheaton.
Love it. He walks over and he just like puts a hand on the chair opposite him and says, "Hey, you're Mr. Derry, right?"
Oh, yes, I am, son. You weren't a student of mine, were you?
No. I'm my dad's here. We're looking to move into the town, and I met some other kids the other day, and they were talking about this super rad science teacher named Mr. Derry, and they told me that he looks just like you, and I just happen to be here, and there you are.
Well, that's fantastic. Are you starting school soon, or?
Yeah, if the paperwork goes through, I won't have to stay back a year. I think that's what they said. So, but science, I heard, right? That's super cool, right?
Oh, well, that's yes, absolutely science, but I'm not sure, son. I've been offered a job at the Loop, to go back and work at the Loop. So, I'm the Loop's the facility here in town. I don't know if you know that, but
no,
it's
what's that? What's that about?
It's do a lot of scientific research. It's a lot of things that can help everybody, and I don't know. I teaching's very rewarding, especially little interactions like this. But sometimes you have to just plan for the future, you know.
Is the Loop that big building on? And he gives him the description to wherever Grayskull is. Is it that building over there?
I think that might be one of the buildings,
Yeah.
but the main complex is almost directly north. Yeah.
Oh, okay. What do you do there? What did you said you worked there before? What did you do before?
I worked with the particle acceleration. I was it's kind of hush hush, but it's cutting edge stuff.
That's super cool. You think I could get a job there one day?
If you want to pick science, son, then that's what they need. They need more scientists. And for a moment, you see him look at you. Well, what's your name, son?
Jerry.
Jerry? Well, Jerry, what would you do? What do you think I should do, huh? We just met. You don't have an agenda? Should I be a teacher or should I work at the Loop?
I mean, why did you leave the Loop to begin with?
I just really like talking with kids like you to push them in the direction that, explore things that are their strengths and then help them when they need it.
I mean,
Can't do that at the loop.
science is really rad, right? But if you go to the loop, you're just one scientist. But if you stay a teacher, you can make the future of scientists. So, I would do that.
Roll a charm.
Fuck.
The future of science.
This is my dump stat, Greg. 0 successes.
Luck, you can push with a condition, or you can use pride.
No, I burn my only luck. My pride does not apply here. Nope, he takes that on the chin. There's no. Yeah, that's what I would do.
You see that you've had some type of effect on him, at least, you know, in the moment. It's something that he's going to ponder, but you see him kind of stand up, and he goes, "Well, you want to introduce me to your parents? Maybe I could put in a good word. Are they looking for a house? My friend's a realtor."
No. I think they just stop it in to grab food. They're in the bathroom right now. They're looking at a place today, so they found one. But I appreciate it. Thank you. Actually, have you ever heard? I saw like a pamphlet on the side of the road. It was like crumpled up. Have you ever heard of the American Leaders of Tomorrow Association? Is that a thing?
I'm giving you a free reroll of your charm right now.
Nope. I have two dice on that stack, Greg.
He
For that
stops
time
for a
we sent
second.
Mitch to talk to people.
He stops and looks at you and says, kind of leans forward, not creepy or conspiratorially, but just kind of to be heard over the din of McDonald's. He leans forward and says, it's for scientists.
Like in the loop? Or secret?
No. And he just winks.
Cool. And Mitch disappears to the bathroom to make it look like it's like a segue out of the conversation, and then immediately comes like he beelines right back to the group of children.
Mr. Derry walks out.
Guys,
The rest of you would see that.
okay, so that was Mr. Derry. He's a science teacher, still super cool. Also, Alta is a thing
Here?
here.
Okay, that's
I don't know if that's
lead.
good or bad. Also, Grayskull is where Grayskull is.
Also a solid lead.
Yes.
Okay, so far pretty parallel,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not perpendicular.
Except for the fact that
I remember
we don't
geometry.
exist here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's to our advantage though. So that's
Yes, it is in some ways. That's true.
Mhm.
Rob, because you rolled the second success on that earlier investigate, you're the one that notices outside of that solarium where Mr. Derry was sitting kind of right by the window. You see a boy on a bike. At least you think it's a boy. Their hood is pulled up. It's very deep. And you see them staring directly at you.
I can't make out a face or anything. It's just kind of shadowy.
You can see like a chin, but you can't make out any features that would define the person.
Rob's he's gonna see that and just meet the gaze and stare back at him, and then just kind of put up a hand.
Who are you waving at?
Roll me whatever you think you're trying to convey here. So if it's just a greeting, you can roll me charm. If you're trying to be
I'm trying to-
intimidating, you can roll me force.
I'm trying to see if it's real. Like, I'm trying
Okay,
to
then
see,
roll me-
like, is it gonna react to the fact that I'm watching him look at me? Like, hey, I can see you
Okay,
looking
yeah.
at me.
Sure thing. Then roll me and investigate as you kind of watch for those types of reactions.
Oof. One success.
It is definitely reacting to you. As you kind of move your hands, you can see the hood track the hand a little bit, is like at first kind of wondering what you're doing. And then when you are presumably meeting the gaze, you see kind of perk up a bit. And that's when you see a flash of red where the eyes should be.
The And he's gonna look at Jerry. Do you see him? Do you see him? Do you see him? We should probably not be here.
Ooh, Michigan.
Michigan. Relax. Is he gonna, like, if Rob starts backing up towards the door, like, he's not gonna keep his eyes off of him? Is the dude like going to make a move, like he's gonna try to cut me off, or like?
Yeah. Okay. So you're looking through the front of this McDonald's, like the curved window in the front, the big kind of the solar, solarium area. As you move towards the door, you see the bike begin to drift slowly backwards towards the same side that you are heading towards as far as the door is concerned. So while he's not advancing towards the door, he's moving parallel with you.
I'm going to move back the other way.
He moves back the other way.
Okay. All right. We got time. So Rob's, we need to hit the door and run.
What?
He's gonna point. He's gonna show Shannon. He's gonna point at the dude. And as he's telling her to watch, he's gonna move to the far side of the restaurant. Like he's showing people, like, look, this is not cool. This is weird.
Yep. Okay. So why is going out the front a good idea?
We don't work here. We can't go through the back.
Says who?
Rob's not understanding that you can just walk into the back of a restaurant.
Shannon's like, I'm gonna do it anyway. That lady that was at the older woman, is that the only like supervisory looking person that's like in the storefront here?
Yes, that's Karen.
Karen.
Of course.
She is the manager.
Oh.
In this reality, Karen is the manager.
Gosh darn it.
This is Garrett K. Every manager is Karen.
No, I got nothing. I think I'm having a moment right now. Pass.
Yeah. Jerry, Ben looks up at you. What are we gonna do, man? And you see a trickle of blood come out of his left nostril.
It's happening. It's happening.
What is, man?
Mitch. He points at Ben.
Bathroom now. Bathroom.
What's going? And you see Ben look at his hand, and he looks up at you, and tears immediately well in his eyes, Jerry, when he looks at you.
Bathroom now. And he like grabs Ben and whoever is nearby to pull them towards the men's room.
Yeah, Jerry doesn't hesitate. He told Ben he wasn't going to split up, and he's going to stick with that.
Rob's going to follow him and take 2 hard steps towards, and then stop, then grab the one of the little napkin dispensers and take it with him.
Shannon's following him.
Yeah, you're in a possession of a napkin dispenser, and
Shannon, I dropped the
are
wallet on my way past in a rush, just like on purpose on the ground.
Okay.
The guy needs his Sears card back.
Guy, drop your wallet.
Do you drop it to be seen, or you kind of casually drop it like someone will find it? You're not trying to say, hey,
I'm not making a
dropping.
scene. It's more like a casual, like by a chair, like somebody accidentally dropped it and it got kicked over there kind of thing.
Absolutely. So you're easily able to do that with your 3 sneaks that you had. You don't have to re-roll for that particular action in the system. So yeah, you're able to place it wherever you'd like on the floor without anybody seeing you drop it. As all of you kind of escape to the bathroom, Shannon, and this is between you and Frags, who's last to kind of who's like doing rear guard? Is that George?
I think George would.
Do you wait for her to actually do the wallet thing? You're good
Yeah,
with
yeah.
that? Okay.
Yeah. I'll scout it. Yeah.
I would not have waited. No.
Now, question: did you take all the money out of it?
Yeah, I have
Okay.
everything.
Oh, okay,
I have the
yeah.
valuables already.
The
Yeah,
important part is
good,
that we
good,
stole
good.
money.
You left him his Sears card too,
and his
driver's
license and the
Right.
wallet itself. Yeah.
Absolutely, and the pictures of his kids. Great,
Yeah.
exactly.
Exactly.
So in this
important
case,
things.
without the need for a roll, George, you would see the hooded figure that Rob indicated begins to come away from the front, and you see through the glass them coming towards the door on their bike, and they're about 3-4 steps from the door when they jump off the bike, and it kind of just crashes to the side as you back up and close the bathroom door.
As soon as the the bathroom door is closed, Mitch reaches over and grabs that caution cuidado sign that's in every McDonald's bathroom and jams one of the triangular parts under the door so it's harder to open.
Roll me a tinker as you attempt to.
While he does that, who has the bag of crystals?
This would be
Okay.
either. Yeah,
I
this
want to
would be
say
either.
it was given to Rob.
I think it was. Yeah.
0 success on that tinker. 10 dice and not a single one of them was a 6.
You can push.
I
You'll
guess
get
I'll
a
just-
condition,
I guess
but
I'll just-
Shannon tries to help and like uses her boot foot to like push the triangular and
Her boot foot.
yeah, her boot
right.
foot. As opposed
as-
to her belly foot. Okay.
Right. As soon as your boot kind of hits the door, it's almost like that action of where one person is pushing the door, somebody else tries to enter, and you feel that shudder in the frame as it groom, as if somebody is trying to come in, but you hit it just at the right time to prevent that from happening. Both you and George are at the door now, Shannon.
Okay.
I'm assuming you're trying to hold it closed.
Yes.
You may do so for now.
Occupied.
Boom! It
Why
shudders
are we in
again.
the bathroom now? That
It's time. Mitch puts a hand on both Shannon's back and Butts' back, and he like points to like for Jerry, Rob, and
Yeah.
Ben to put a hand on him.
I'll like look over my shoulder and yell, or not yell, but stage whisper, crystals.
Flush it.
no, he said don't put it in water. What's wrong?
He
with
said, "Don't put it in the
you?"
lake. Don't put it in the lake."
It's still water. It probably ends up in the lake.
They're made out of sugar.
So where do you
Gonna
put
multiply.
this? If you're
Um,
leaving a crystal behind, where are you putting it?
I
The ceiling.
probably, I guess, dumped it in the trash can.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of the best place to put it in the bathroom. I guess if I can reach the drop ceiling, if that's an option.
Well, I mean, literally from the position that you all are by the door, there is one of those big cans with the flip top on it.
Yeah,
You could drop one right in there.
yeah, that's what I'll do that.
Okay. Yep. As it goes down in. At this moment, all of your ears pop. I need you to go to your Spotify playlist, my friends, and turn on Free Fallin' by Thomas Petty. Mitch, roll me comprehend.
Cool. Yeah, nothing applies here. Whoo boy, 2 successes.
Now you know it's happening. And with the contact with all of your friends, as one, if anyone were watching, you all sink instead of falling into the floor. You sink like sandcastles struck by a wave, and you just dissolve into the linoleum. And the door opens, and the hooded figure looks around and moves back into the McDonald's. My friends, just like the beginning of this episode, if you would so kindly, roll me your best stat, but don't add your iconic item this time. Very good. You are all falling again, twirling and twisting in that field of stars, those rows upon rows of dotted lights. Mitch, you're looking at them for the first time, almost like a dancer spotting a segment to keep your balance as you spin. You're kind of reorienting yourself to just this one section of this vast and terrible field. And you see a couple of these dots, and for a moment, kind of like lining up a linear constellation, you remember a bit of this place. Everyone go to your Spotify playlist. Sorry, Tom. And turn on Personal Jesus by Depeche Mode. George and Shannon, you were the closest to the door and kind of the X of this Mitch letter that was formed. You feel yourselves ripped in opposite directions. Mitch, you feel them ripped away from you as you all begin to spin independently. After a moment, Rob, you are standing in front of a vacant lot. After a moment of disorientation, you realize that you recognize the homes to the right and left of the lot. This is your neighborhood, but your home is missing. Among the twisted shrubs and tree stumps, a bag of Ping's fine Chinese cuisine sits, waiting for someone. Just at your feet, a bit of the grass springs from one of the last patches of snow. It's still green, not because it's resilient. It is green because it isn't a plant. It's glass. The wind blows cold and the snow swirls. George, your dad will be right out, sweetie. George, you are sitting in a small waiting room with only 4 chairs. None of the other seats are occupied save yours. For a moment, you think you are in one of the reception buildings of the Loop, but then you hear the low sound of music coming from the wall-mounted speakers. It's the Muzak version of Careless Whisper. The Loop doesn't play music, not ever. Before you can get your bearings, the door opens, and your father, Eugene Butts, arrives, his wheelchair being pushed by an orderly at the Sunset Homes retirement facility. Hi, Georgie. He's having a good day today, the orderly says with a sad smile. Drool collecting at the corner of his mouth, Eugene Butts stares at the space beyond the floor and whispers, I lost my marbles. Mitch, you find yourself face down in a snow-scattered field. Shannon is standing over you. Roll me move. With a failure, you get a condition.
1 success.
You stand up and move away just as a blade whistles by your throat. When you turn, Shannon flips the blade underhand in her grasp and says, last time I get to kill a Mitch, and then my dad will be safe. Shannon, your world is darkness. Roll me and investigate.
Four successes.
You realize that you are under some type of blanket, and after a few seconds of clawing and rolling, your finger snags the internal ring of your body bag as you roll off the stainless steel gurney and crash to the floor. Around you, you see the bodies of Nee and Dutch on similar steel tables, neither in a body bag. A newspaper nearby says, Wednesday, April 5th, 1989, and the headline of the Times News reads, 3 teens killed in a stolen car. The translucent door displays the backwards title of coroner's office in the Garrett PD, and someone is coming. And because of a Michigan, you recognize the voice of Chief Rugen. Jerry, you are still spinning through this field of stars. Ben is screaming out, reach out, Jerry, reach out, as he's trying to hold on to you. And with your 4 successes, one more than what you needed, you grab hold of Ben. Jerry, you open your eyes and you find yourself laying in a top bunk of a bunk bed, reaching down to Ben as he sits on the bottom bunk, reaching up. Around you, your room in your dad's house sits, a bit of a mess, but neat enough. Posters cover the walls, Gang of Four, Metallica, other rockers, mixed with alternative and pop groups, Talking Heads, Prince, Duran Duran. Fabulous Baker Boys, wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey, time for school. Ben's mom comes into the room carrying a basket of laundry that she takes to the double dresser and starts to put away. She looks the age she did before she died. Jerry, your mom said she'd stop by around 10 on Saturday to take you shopping at the mall for a certain someone's 15th birthday, she pantomimes towards Ben. And then we are all having dinner Saturday night. No excuses. Now, I'm sure there's some movie or baseball game is playing, but we'll try to eat early enough so you boys have some free time. Jerry, your dad walks in, but it takes you a moment to recognize him. He's thinner, smiling, and his nose isn't its normal off-center, having never been broken in 1969. His nose now looks exactly like a larger version of Ben's. He wraps Ben's mom in a bear hug from behind, squeezes her, and lifts her off her feet. Quick, boys, get downstairs. I don't know how much longer I can hold this monster. Melanie Baker laughs and tries to whip her husband Carl with a towel from the basket, but her arms are pinned, making it extremely difficult. But she is laughing the entire time. You are rude, sir. Now, boys, don't be like your father. Be gentlemen. And that, my friends, is where we will end our session of Atari Twilight. Join us next week for Atari Twilight Rollout Episode 2, Velvet Revolution.
No words.
Everything was weird until you did the Carl Baker thing, and that was the creepiest part of the show.
You mean Melanie Baker?
Yeah, I don't.
Was it creepy or very wonderfully awesome for Jerry?
I was gonna say that was idyllic.
I don't. Was it though?
Well, I mean, he came from a broken home, right?
We're really brothers now.
Man, okay, all right. So that was weird. Cool. Guys, thank you for being here. This is episode 1 of season 3, our final season. This is the end of a tale as old as time. So we're going to get out of here. We're going to do our introductions. We're going to do our after show, which you guys can get over on the Patreon. If you want that and all kinds of other behind the scenes exclusives, join us over there at the $5 tier. Link for that down below. I hope you enjoyed the playlist. Link for that also down below. And as always, when you're down there, click on that Discord link and join us in the Discord. Be a part of the community. Be a part of the conversation. But for now, let's go around. We will start. We'll start with Mr. Rob Ott, KW Frags. Frags, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
I muted the wrong thing. My name is KW Frags, and you can find me on the internet if you want, on Twitter, KW Frags. And other than that, I'm Robert Ott, and this has been super fun.
Hell freaking yeah. We'll jump right over to one Jerry Baker. Mr. Bitters, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
I'm Mr. Bitters. Don't look for me on the internet. I don't do anything except this. So come back here. Watch us next week. Watch us to the end because it's bound to be awful.
Yeah, it's gonna be so bad. We're gonna cry. Mike, same questions for you, Mr. George Butts. Who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
So I'm the Anonymous Rhino. There's also Mike playing George Butts. As far as finding me on the internet, don't. No, I don't really do anything on the internet anymore besides play WoW. So if you're into the Burning Crusade Classic, DM me. Not if you're Horde though. I don't mess with them. So
wow. Okay, cool. Shannon Locke, Metamancer, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
Hello, I'm Meta. You guys can find me as Metamancer on Instagram or here, and that's basically it. And I'm not up to anything that has anything to do with really anything.
Perfect. Super fast outros. And last but not least, Greg, the arbiter of our downfall. Who are you? Where can we find you? And what are you up to?
Hi, I'm Greg. I guess Grimjack21502. I am also not on the internets. However, if you want to join us over on the unMadeGaming Discord, I will answer and talk and interact and stuff. If you at me, I'm too old to find myself if you just kind of mention me. So please come over there. It's a great community. All of the shows are represented by very, very supportive fans and viewers. It's just it's everything that is good about the internet. You can find it there. Supportive and drama free, which is just the way I like it. Love being here. Can't wait for next time. Talk to you.
Perfect.
By the way, one other thing I wanted to say is G Lightning Invoker guessed the Ben and Jerry stuff months ago, so I'm very glad about that.
Suspicious. She knows too much. She's a plant. Thank you all for being here. This has been awesome. I'm so glad to be back in this world. But like I said, for now, we're going to get the hell out of here. We're going to do the after show. It should be up later tonight, if not early tomorrow morning, over on Patreon. So check that out, and we will see you guys next time. So from all of us to you, bye-bye.